Hello, I am Hein from New Creation Dance Studio. Today we're going to show you how to keep good alignment and posture during a ballet class. My student today is Heidi, and we will be showing you how to do this. The first thing we need to remember is to keep our center of gravity, which is more or less where the pubic bone is, in the center of the base of support. So if you think about your base of support, it would be a circle that you can draw around where your feet are. So if we look at her base of support, it will be about here, and the center of gravity, we would want to be there. So to start off with, I'm going to ask you to stand with your feet in a parallel position where you are comfortable. We're going to start with the feet because your feet are your first action to the floor, and that's where most of our stability comes from, especially if we need to do a rise or if we need to go into a difficult plie position, like for example fourth. Foot muscles need to be relaxed and open, so we want a little bit of spread in the toes, but keeping the feet as relaxed as possible. A common misconception is that we need a tight muscle for dancing to occur, but we actually need a ready muscle, which is a muscle that is lengthened rather than shortened. So through this entire positioning, we will think about muscles lengthening rather than shortening. Your calf muscles, we're going to see if we can let go of them so that they become soft. We let go of the knees and the quadriceps muscle in the front so that it becomes soft, as well as the hamstrings at the back, so that when I move your knee, you have readiness for movement and the kneecap is mobile. When we go up to your hips, think about broadening your hips and them becoming wide. The abdominal muscles, we want to not contract but lengthen, and see if we can increase the amount of space between your rib cage and your hip. Ribs we want to open, so when you're taking a deep breath, you're going to release the ribs so that they're allowed to expand. Lifting the chest bone slightly and allowing your shoulders to drop back into a comfortable position once again. If you think about having a string on the sides of your shoulders, broadening the shoulder blades and allowing them to drop down. When we go into your neck, we want a long neck and have your head float up towards the roof. Take a deep breath and allow your body to settle into this position without using too much muscle strain. Our feet are very important for us. They give us stability when we are dancing, as well as a spring force when you need to do jumps. So it is very important to keep the fascia and the structures in the feet supple and smooth so that you have good stability and have good spring force. A nice way to do this is to use a soft ball with spikes on so that we can remove any tension in the fascial layers of the feet. So what I want you to do is sense where you are standing on your feet and which leg is deeper or lighter on the ground. And once you've established that, use the ball to roll your feet so that your entire foot surface at the bottom feels the same. So areas on the foot that feel more tense need to be rolled for a longer period of time, and areas on the foot that are less sensitive also need to be rolled for a lengthy period of time so that your entire foot at the bottom feels exactly the same. So this may take a few minutes or just a few seconds. It depends on the condition of your feet. So we're going to have you roll your feet all the way, making sure that the ball reaches every surface of the foot, and opening up the foot bones to wrap around the ball as you roll. Yes. Good. The more movable your feet are, the better they can then adjust to your movement and give you that support that you need during any dancing. Okay. So once you've rolled your feet, sense again, without the ball, you can give the ball to me. Sense again how you feel, and you'll feel a lightness in the foot, and your body will then automatically respond with that same lightness. One of the most important things in ballet is to maintain a good turnout. We need the turnout to go from the hip, knee, and ankle as a unit, so that we do not place extra strain on the knee joint. So while broadening the pelvis, we're going to spiral down, turning out from the hip, knee, and foot. So see if we can do that. Here we go. To check that you haven't overturned out the bottom leg, you're going to give your knee a slight bend and make sure that the knee is over the second or third toe. Good. Turn back in. Now see if we can wrap around to turn out both legs. Check that the knees are not overturned out and come back. Very good. We're going to demonstrate pelvic alignment during a plie. When we think about the pelvis, your pelvis has your pubic bone in front and the tailbone at the back. While dropping down into the plie, we are broadening the pelvis so that we have space for the hips to turn out, and we are not tilting the pelvis forward or backward. We are going in one motion down and back up again. So let's see if we can do that. Tucking in the tailbone, dropping down, letting go, and pushing back up. All right. So what I would like you to change a little bit is think that there's energy going up through your spine, through your head towards the roof, floating up and lengthening through the abdominals, while your feet are pushing down into the floor, so you have counter force in both directions. Very good. Let's now look a little bit more closely to what happens in the shoulder blades when we are relaxed in our posture. So Heidi, if you can turn around so that we can see your shoulder blades. If we lengthen through the chest bone and lift the chest bone towards the roof and allow the shoulder blades to sink backwards, this will happen automatically. So let's drop your posture quickly. Drop it forward. So this would be incorrect slouched posture. And by just lifting the chest bone and breathing in, we already see a movement and a shift in the shoulder blades. When looking at the upper body and the shoulder girdle, we want to broaden the shoulders as if we have two strings attached to each shoulder, breathing in, lifting the chest bone, and broadening the shoulders. When we need to lift an arm, we're not going to use a word such as lift, which is strenuous. We will rather use a word such as float, and float the arm forward and away from you while the shoulder blade tucks in at the back. So coming back down. So we first think broad shoulders, breathing in, lifting the chest bone, floating up and floating back down. Let's see that again. We lift here, floating up and floating back down. Very good. The neck is a very important part of the posture and alignment in ballet. If we collapse through the neck, you'll end up with a poking chin that will throw your balance off completely. To correct this, we are again using the chest bone as a center. So your chest bone needs to lift so that you can place your neck properly on your upper back. Once you've lifted your chest bone, lifting the back of your head up towards the roof and having a sensation of floating helps to maintain a good posture in the neck. If you want to maintain this and practice muscle strength and muscle control, we're going to ask Heidi to look towards her left, grow tall through the neck, and look back to the center.